Hello and welcome to the Cash Grab Podcast, the podcast where we go through different franchises that have been turned into video games and decide, are they franchises or are they not? Are they... What?
These are franchises or not?
We're going with it. Are they a cash grab or are they not? My name is Tom and his name's Steph. We're fucking going with it. This is like the fourth attempt and we're both in tears. That's it.
Right, okay, we're gonna go with that one, but can I just say welcome to the Cash Grab Podcast, the podcast where we go through different movie franchises that have been turned into video games and decide whether they're cash grabs or not. Whew.
Oh, that was the one.
Sorry, we've just come off the Iron Man game, and we're struggling to hold ourselves in. To be honest,
me.
If you watch our opening bid, you can see the train wreck that was the end of that, which was I'm going to mostly blame on myself, not the game. So
I'm sorry. The game played equal measure in that, I think.
So yeah, we're still trying to recover, just mentally. So,
Mentally.
So if we suddenly mentally. So yeah, we do apologise. But yeah, how have you been?
Oh, I'm doing really well, man.
Yeah,
I'm very happy.
should we just get right in and rile the internet straight up by saying that you haven't watched many of the Marvel films?
Right, I've watched Avengers Assemble, the first one. I think I've watched Captain America. I've watched both Guardians of the Galaxy. I've watched Spider-Man Homecoming. I think that's it. That might be it. It might be one I'm missing, one or two, but I think that's it.
Out of the 26 films, I think it is?
Yeah, something like that. So I'm not versed in Marvel is what I'm trying to get at, really.
Yes, whereas I have seen them all.
Yeah, Steph's fucking smashed it out.
Yeah, well, it's not very difficult to watch them all if
you span it over 12 years.
If you started in 2008 with Iron Man and then just carried on as they came out.
It's too much of a mammoth task now. We were saying earlier, I can't... I don't have the energy for it.
It's a lot to go back to. It's like, when someone recommends you a TV show.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, fucking hell, 8 seasons.
Mate.
And you're like, oh, come on, am I ready for that commitment?
Do you want like, I've got a perfect example of that, right? And it's that basically when this quarantine started, my wife said, I'm going to rewatch this show called One Tree Hill, right? And I thought, it can't, do you know what I mean? Like, let her have it.
Yeah,
we're
nice.
in lockdown. Just let her have her series. She loves it. It's her little thing. It won't go on forever. Lockdown came into effect. When was it? Like 16th of March, something like that.
It was around that, yeah.
Yeah. We finished One Tree Hill, and keep in mind, it was being watched like all day, every day. We finished it at the end of fucking April, beginning of May.
Now, when you say we, did you watch it too?
Yeah, well, I kind of had to.
Yeah, because I know we played Titanfall and you had to have that on in the background a few times.
Yeah, One Tree Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it broke my internet.
Yeah, your internet couldn't handle Netflix and Titanfall at once.
No, it couldn't.
Tom would just lag out and disappear because One Tree Hill started.
I'd get kicked all the fucking time from the servers because my fucking Netflix is powerful streaming service. That's why. It wasn't because of my god-awful internet.
Yeah, so you haven't seen the original Iron Man film?
No, this is my first time watching it.
But you obviously know about Iron Man because he's like the poster boy of Marvel.
Yeah, in my mind it was always Captain America, which was like the poster boy, but I suppose I just was looking at the wrong poster. But yeah, so this is my first time watching it. I mean, off the bat, like, not going to jump ahead too much, but I'll just say, like, my initial impressions of our half an hour, because we only watch half an hour.
So, yeah, just for people that have seen this, we didn't even get to the part where Brick comes out in his main suit.
Yeah, not
main suit, his first clunky suit.
Yeah, we were nearly there. We were on the cusp of it.
Yeah, we were on the cusp of it, yeah.
But my initial impressions are actually quite good. But I always had it in my mind this was a bit of a shocker. But it was all right.
Well, this was the jumping off point for the Marvel franchise. Like, well, not Marvel franchise, but like the movie cinematic universe that we've got now.
Yeah.
This was the jumping off point.
It's mad, isn't it?
And it's
12 years, man.
Yes, and it's a very fucking good starting off point. You can see
it is, yeah.
You can see, and they took Iron Man, who at the time wasn't known to like the general public as a Marvel superhero. You know, if you walked up to people on the street and said name a Marvel superhero, it'd always be Spider-Man, and you know,
Hulk maybe here and there.
Yeah, so like, but Iron Man wasn't really up there, so they went with a B-list superhero and made a very good film.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, absolutely.
And then obviously turned into the,
that.
I mean, multi-billion-dollar franchise that it's worth today.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable. It's lined some very, very heavy pockets for fucking Marvel franchise, hasn't it? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, off the bat with this film, like, it's mad how much has changed in that 12 years. Because my God, there are aspects of this film which just seem so aged and different in the way it's shot, in the way it's like portrayed, in lots of, I mean, technologically, like him with his like horizontal flip switch phone.
Yeah,
like
at
you're
the
like
time
fucking hell,
was
like,
big deal.
Yeah, you're like at the time everyone was like fucking hell, that phone, like you can have it widescreen, that's incredible. Like mate, it like
still had a physical keyboard.
Yeah, like it's a different world. It really is. But also just like, you know, the way when Tony Stark pulls up in his car at that one scene and they're playing that like kind of like almost a bit cheesy rock music.
Yeah.
And that screams to me more like 90s Bond.
Oh, it was very Bond. Like when he comes out of his award ceremony or his Vegas session, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
and
it.
then he meets the reporter.
Yeah.
And then,
obviously
then she's like, "How do you sleep
her.
at night?" And he was like, "Maybe I'll lose a few hours with you." And then straight away, like, yeah, it's into like the Rocky music with them two like getting on it.
Yep.
Like, it's very Bond.
It is, isn't it? And I think I'd like to say like it's very intentional, but then just
yeah,
those,
I think it is.
Yeah, those like, I just don't see that if Iron Man 1 was being made in 2020, I don't think it would even be recognisable to what that is. Just the way it's put forward, the way it's portrayed, the way he is.
I can see what you mean.
Like it is night and day. I just think to myself like, fuck, you can tell this film's from 2008 because just the tropes of it are from like a good decade ago. Yeah, and that's been a long old decade because my God, how things have changed. Jesus Christ.
I do think like watching, because I haven't seen this for a very long time.
Yeah.
And obviously now we've had Endgame, and you know, I won't say anything to spoil Endgame, even though people should have watched it. But like Tony Stark's character arc throughout the whole Marvel franchise is fucking amazing. To watch back to the arrogant shit that he is during this.
Oh, he is a real piece of dirt, isn't he?
Yeah,
like,
to then see like
a real arsehole.
To see what he's like in Endgame. Like it's really, though he's still arrogant, but he's like he's more humble with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's really good to actually come back and see these films. To see what they were originally like, to the character that you know today.
Get perspective on it, innit? Because like you say, it's such a wide branching like universe that, you know, you can easily lose sight of where the origins are or how it all began. Do you know what I mean?
And it's like Iron Man's not one that, so I recently like wanted to rewatch Guardians of the Galaxy, so I watched the first one and then I watched...
It's very good.
I didn't watch the second one, but I was going to. But then I was... Like, that's one that I come back to because I find it funny and I enjoy it and everything. But Iron Man's not one that I ever really come back to. Whereas like like Captain America 1, I come back to Civil War or Winter Soldier, or like I'd go to Ragnarok, or do you know, like I'll go to one of them. I don't really find myself going back to the origin films because normally the origin film's not as good as like the follow-on when you already know the character and you don't have to have that plot point anymore. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, but this film still stands up. I think it's still very good.
Yeah. For all of its like little kind of like the little cracks it shows where it shows a little bit of age, that's not a dint on the fact that it's a really good movie. It is absolutely like, you know, there's you'd have no trouble bloody watching it for sure. But I mean.
So my TV's just caught up saying, "You do not perform any operation. TV will be automatically shut down after 45 seconds."
Exclamation mark. Wow. You do not perform any operation. That's like an insult, isn't it? You're a nothing. You're a nobody.
Sorry, TV.
Yeah, it's a bit much, isn't it?
I will turn you off.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Sorry, carry on.
You do not perform any operation. Yeah, so, I mean, like... yeah, I don't know what to say. It's one of those things. There's not a lot to describe, really, in the first half an hour, because...
You got Tony Stark, the millionaire for a lamp. What's he describe himself in Endgame, Avengers? Millionaire philanthropist.
Millionaire philanthropist, playboy,
yeah,
something,
like that,
yeah, along those lines.
So you got him,
yeah,
who's very arrogant about the weapons he sells
and himself. He's egotistical, isn't he?
Yeah, and then he has the eye-opening moment of a terrorist group taking him down.
And they have all of his shit.
Yeah, so it was a nice little eye opener for him.
Yeah, and like during 2008, this was during the time where the war in Iraq was still very much a thing, and this is tying in very much with like the political implications of the world at the time. I feel like it's not by accident that they've made him be in Afghanistan and be abducted by a terrorist cell and all of that. It's very charged with like 2008's world, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I mean, that is effectively what happens. He gets blown to smithereens to some extent in the middle of the Afghan desert after doing what I can only call like a premiere of a fucking weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Which was called the Jericho?
The Jericho
missile.
And it basically just fucks shit up.
Yeah, it's like a cluster bomb. It's something from Worms.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you could see Worm pulling out a Jericho missile.
Yeah.
Right, I've got a concrete jungle. Concrete jungle? I'm going back to Predator. I've got a concrete donkey, super sheep, and a Jericho missile. They all fit together, don't they?
Well, that's what Stark needs to start doing. He needs to move away from the fucking Jericho missiles and start just employing massive concrete animals.
Imagine if he turned up to that event. He's like, right, I've got my new weapon to show you. It's called the banana bomb.
Oh!
He pulls out a hefty banana and just lobs it down the sandhill. And
bong, bong. And then when he's been abducted, there's just bananas everywhere in the terrorist camp.
Bananas.
How did you get all these?
How did you get all my banana bombs?
How did you get all my banana bombs? But so he does get abducted. And, I mean, I was saying to Steph whilst we were watching it, this is a superhero film, and the Marvel franchise is a comic franchise based on superheroes, purely a work of fiction and fantasy. And there are so many things that happen within the 20-something movies that have been released that are out of this world. There are aliens, there are invasions, there are Norse gods, there's planets being torn apart, there's infinity stones, there's all of these things. And yet, out of all of that, the thing I find most unbelievable is the fact that they stuck a carburettor in his chest, hooked it up to a car battery, and then he reworked bits of fucking missile and old fucking car chassis into a massive power source which can sustain a human for 50 years, but then also build an Iron Man suit.
A very, very early version, but yeah.
It's like it takes the A-Team to another level. Where I did say to you, and I was like, the A-Team would be in a fix, and before you know it, they've got a fucking cardboard box and a dead rat, and they build a fucking Humvee out of it. And it's like the A-Team, MacGyver, all of that sort of 80s thing where they just they can build anything out of anything. It takes it to another level.
I honestly, when you have those laps of information in your mind and you feel like an idiot. I didn't know MacGyver was real. I thought it was only from The Simpsons.
Yeah, because of Patty and Selma.
Yeah, because they always watch MacGyver. And I was like, what the fuck is MacGyver? Because I don't think it was very big over here, was it?
No, not at all. It's it's a proper American
So
thing.
I was like, what the fuck is MacGyver? And it's only because it's recently come back.
Has it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a new series or something. So the guy I work with watches it.
What? Fucking
And
hell,
I was like,
really?
what the fuck? MacGyver's... And then I had to Google it. I had to act cool. I was like, oh, yeah, MacGyver.
It's been
yeah,
around
yeah.
for years, isn't it?
And I had to Google it to fucking find out that it's a real thing. I just thought it was The Simpsons.
Mate, that shit happens to me all the time, so don't feel bad about it. It's fucking unbelievable.
Oh, I don't. No one really cares. It's not like MacGyver comes up in conversation.
Yeah, it's not very often, is it? But one thing I was going to say, on the subject of worms, there's a new one of them coming out as well.
Is it?
Apparently.
There's always a news worms. News worms? There's always a new worms coming out, though, isn't there?
Yeah, I suppose so.
They never really
Thinking about
change
it.
too much.
Nah, we're going to get it, though. We've got to play some worms.
I mean, we got one on Switch. We should play that.
Yeah, that is true. One on Switch is absolutely fine, isn't it?
But we could buy the new one. Anyway,
Yeah.
Iron Man.
So, I mean, that's kind of where we get up to in the film. Like, the lead up to it, like, the thing is, it's one of those things that, like, the lead up to it is very much just trying to put in place the pieces of the film which show who Tony Stark is.
Yes.
And it is kind of things like, yeah, he's a playboy, he is a drinker, he's a gambler, you know, he doesn't take his things too seriously, he's not particularly people orientated, all of these things, do you know what I mean? He's like, you know, but they are just what I feel are set pieces which lead up to the abduction and then him building his suit for the first time.
Yes.
That's really what this is about. All that other stuff is literally just like
It's about him having that moment of like reality hit where he kind of realizes, oh, these weapons I'm selling are actually going to the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's all about showing his ignorance to then showing the eye opener
Yeah.
to then him becoming the hero that he needed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it does it well. Like I enjoyed the way it starts. You've got him in the little Humvee, and you obviously the way the three are acting around, like the three army people are acting around him. You know that he's the big cheese.
He's quite revered, isn't he?
And then it all goes to shit, and like straight away there's action, and then it takes you back, and like just doing that order of things gets you hooked.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Absolutely.
And then you're wanting to find out who is this guy, even if you obviously didn't know who he was already. Like, 2008 when I went to see this at cinema, I wasn't too clued up as to who Iron Man was and who Tony Stark was. So
it's weird to think that, isn't it? It's institutionalized now, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So like going to see it then, it was a good way to get me in. And it works. I've watched every single film in cinema
Yeah,
since.
it certainly bloody did. No doubt about that. Nobody could dispute that, for sure. But that's kind of our half an hour. So yeah, like Steph said at the beginning, like I didn't even get to see the bloody simplest of Iron Man suits in this, but you know, I know what he looks like, so it's all right.
So on that, would you carry on watching this film?
You know what? I would, and that surprised me because I didn't think I was. I went in very immaturely of me thinking I'm not going to like this.
Yep.
And I was proven wrong, and I'm more than happy to be proven wrong.
Nice.
That's absolutely fine. So yeah, I would carry on. I'd happily carry on watching. Whether the rest of the film is as like decent as the first half an hour, I don't know, but I'd keep it going.
Pretty sure it is. It's a very good film.
Nice.
So the budget, $140 million.
Which seems small now.
Seems small now.
For a Marvel film.
Ready for the box office in America?
Yes.
585 million.
Fucking hell, really?
Bearing in mind, before this was mainly...
500 million.
Yeah.
Bleeding heck. That's silly.
So, like before this, superhero films weren't a big deal. I mean, personally, I didn't think they were that big of a deal. Like, you had the Spider-Man trilogy, Spider-Man 1, class, Spider-Man 2, amazing, Spider-Man 3, less said the better. Then
there's things about Spider-Man 3 I really like.
the dancing.
Yeah, well, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And then...
just him being, like, edgy is great.
And then, like, when did you have the Dark Knights? When did they come out?
I feel like it's a similar time, though, to be honest.
Similar time?
Well, I feel like... I feel like Batman Begins was, like, 2006 or 2007.
Dark Knight was 2008.
Yeah, there you go. When was Rises then?
Batman Begins was 2005. Rises was a while afterwards.
Yeah, it was. We went to see it, didn't we? Like 2012 or
2012.
Fucking hell.
So, yeah, like I feel like when Iron Man came out, there wasn't the big like now when a Marvel film's coming out, the world stops kind of
It
thing.
does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Everyone knows
Yeah.
it's coming. Back then, it wasn't that
No,
big.
not at all. Not at all.
So to gross that much money
Yeah, that's
is
ridiculous,
mad.
isn't it?
It shows that it was as good of a film as it was.
Yeah. And it is highly rated, isn't it? Like from the little that we've already glossed over beforehand, we've seen that there are some very high ratings, which I can understand. I can get behind that.
Oh, it was a worldwide gross of 585 million.
Yes, I mean, still nearly
Yeah.
$600 million. Blood, it's not real money. When money starts turning to that sort of figure, it no longer becomes real.
It's mad, isn't it?
It is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So there you go. So you'd carry on watching it.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
I kind of fancy giving it another watch. To be fair,
Is it?
I haven't watched it for a long time, so I'd be up for that.
Do it,
A
mate.
little viewing of it.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So I'd be up for
It
carrying
has
on.
it has lit a little spark for me wanting to give the Marvel films a go, but I don't want to give all of them a go.
No, I think look up that list because there is a little list that says what like the
your
ones to
important
watch.
ones.
Yeah, because like you don't need to watch Iron Man 2 or 3 in my opinion.
Okay.
You don't need to watch Thor 2. Although it's one of like it's parts to do with the Infinity Stones, but you can just forget about it.
Yeah.
And then there's a few others that you can skip.
Okay.
So like you don't have to watch all 25 films.
That would be preferable, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
because
just
like
don't.
some of
can't
them
commit that
just
sort
aren't
of
worth
time.
watching.
Yeah.
Well, like they're worth watching if you want to get the whole experience, but I'm not ever going to watch Iron Man 2 again.
No.
No.
Oh, that's fair enough. That's the one with Mickey Rourke, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that looking a bit awful.
Yes. So, right, should we move on to the game?
Go on then.
So we're going for
Let's
Iron
get
Man.
to it.
Iron Man for the PS3.
Yeah.
It was released in 2008 with the film. It was published by Sega.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was developed by Artificial Mind and Movement that would be for the DS, the PS2, Wii, PSP, and for PC. And then Secret Level done it for the PS3 and the Xbox 360.
Mm.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, the thing is with like I wanted to say about like superhero games are an odd tie-in, and they're difficult to do right, especially when they're a movie tie-in superhero game, because there are lots of fantastic superhero games because there's so many of them. Like the Arkham series comes to mind, all of that sort of stuff. But then superhero tie-in games with the movie, are odd thing to like explore, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There are a lot that are known to be pretty rough. There was like 3 Hulk games from what I remember around the PS2
Yes,
era,
yeah.
and 2 of them were like absolute. Like one was meant to be alright, like pretty good fun, and then 2 was seriously bad.
But that's why I think pretty good fun sums it up, because you're like, yeah, it's pretty good fun. If I walked into, there used to be a little game store near us where you could go in and play the game before you bought it.
Yeah.
So like
Those were the
you
days,
could go
innit?
in and like Hulk Incredible Destruction or whatever was one of them, something like that. Had that kind of name.
Maximum Destruction. Yeah, there's
Something
something
like
like that, wasn't it?
You could go in and like I feel like with that game you could put it in, play it for half an hour and be like, I get the gist of this.
Yeah.
I'm not playing it.
Yeah.
And I'd done that, just a bit of a random tangent. I'd done that with a Mortal Kombat spin-off, Shaolin Monks.
Fuck,
Do you
I
remember
that?
I was really hyped for it.
I remember that.
And I went into that store and I played it for an hour in the back.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, I get this. I'm not going to buy it because it's just the same thing over and over again.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so like that's the kind of thing.
That is a blast from the past right there, mate. Jesus
Yeah, isn't it?
Christ.
So with like the Hulk, like you said, like it feels like a lot of games are kind of like, yeah, it's good enough. But when you can have a game that has complete free range,
Yeah.
like Arkham, like Spider-Man PS4,
Yeah.
that's when I think you get your best.
Absolutely,
your
absolutely.
best out of it.
The thing I was thinking is that like they're not coming straight to my mind in terms of like any Marvel release, like Marvel AAA game releases or anything like that. But you know, have there been any? Do you know what I mean?
So
Because
Marvel AAA, Marvel AAA obviously is. I think what they've done is they've got. So you know how Disney signed the deal with EA for Star Wars,
yes,
and that kind of backfired.
yes, it kind of has done. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you seen Squadrons?
yeah, it looks quite cool, and it's in VR for
I
PS4,
know.
so I'm all over
It
that.
looks like it could be a
That
fucking
looks like it could be
dirty
good
thing.
fun.
That yeah.
But yeah, I feel like EA are really trying to pull themselves. But they done nothing with it for the longest time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Now their 10 years is like over halfway done. They're
Yeah.
clawing at
Yeah, they're
to get things out. Because
pushing,
obviously
aren't
they released Jedi Fallen Order, which was
Yes.
really good fun. Really enjoyed that. You're enjoying Battlefield 2 now. They fixed that mess.
Yeah, yeah, loving it. It's great.
So like, I'm not saying it was completely terrible, but if they've done what they're going to do with Marvel and other Disney products, they're looking at doing. So like.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do with the Marvel stuff is they've gone, we want to, oh, no, actually, no, sorry, they went to Insomniac, I think, and then said, what do you want to make? And they said Spider-Man, so they gave them the rights to Spider-Man. And obviously, being Sony, they had the film rights already there and blah, blah, blah.
Yep, yep.
And Crystal Dynamics have got the Avengers game.
Was that released? When was that released?
No, it's not released yet, it's coming soon.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of what
So,
I
like,
meant. Like,
that's what they're doing.
I'm surprised they haven't had one.
They're now looking at doing, like...
Is that the
Go
one,
look
the
at-
one which looked really bad?
Yeah, the characters look really weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think they're now looking at studios and being like, "Oh, they could do a very good Captain America game."
Right,
But there were a couple.
So they're kind of pushing out to game, because I find that interesting because, like, let's be honest.
So look, sorry, just to interrupt.
No, go for it.
In the early days of the MCU, they had games. Captain America has one. Thor has one. Iron Man has one. Hulk has one, although Hulk wasn't in MCU at that point. Guardians of the Galaxy had a Telltale game.
It did, didn't it? I
Yeah.
totally forgot about that.
So did I. X-Men Origins Wolverine, not Marvel, but it is Marvel, but it's X-Men.
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
Yeah, like, it looks like they had those few, and then they
Right.
kind of stopped, because I think, like, I didn't even know there was a Thor game, and I've been
Nah.
researching games to play, and it's got a 3 out of 10, so we've got to play it at some
Oh,
point.
fucking hell. All right. That's another one then.
But yeah, like Thor, Captain America, you know, these early on games had...
See, it's interesting because to my mind, right, trying to put my mind into a marketing mind, I think to myself, right, most of these people that are going to watch a Marvel film are most likely, I'm not saying all, but are most likely going to be into games to a certain degree.
Yeah,
I would say that's a good stab in the dark there.
yeah.
And therefore, I would say I'd be thinking to myself, right, that's a pretty massive market to tap into gaming. So why aren't we doing more with it? Because
But they
think
did,
about
'cause they've
think about
done-
the extent Star Wars games, mate. They're a dime a dozen, good and
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So why aren't they pushing more?
Because
Like
I think
that?
they tried. And they done Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. You know, the 3 big, like, starting off
and it just
jump off points. And
didn't really go anywhere.
being one of those people who who has gone to the cinema for every single Marvel film, who has played games his whole life, has a podcast about games.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I didn't know Thor was a game. I knew there was a
Yeah.
Captain America game, but only because of the combat. I knew
Being
there was an
similar to
Iron
Arkham,
Man
yeah,
game. Looking around for this podcast, I didn't know there was a Thor game until now. So, like, I can see what you're saying,
Yeah,
but I don't think they necessarily go hand in hand. And I think
yeah.
that was
true.
getting to the point where video tie-in games were starting to... Everyone was just kind of like, oh, it's a tie-in game.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's gonna be shit.
You know what?
What's the
You're
point?
spot on, to be honest.
So
You
I think
are
they
spot
thought,
on.
let's not bother spending the money on it. Let's just focus straight on the film.
Yeah, fair enough. It
And then
does
they-
make sense.
You know, now the films are kind of their own beast. now they can starting up a division to look at the video games.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Does make sense. Well, let's hope like these future releases are going to be good. But anyway, from future releases, let's go to 2008 again. Iron Man. PS3.
So this literally starts as the film finished where we got to.
It literally.
It couldn't be more like.
It was spot on.
It was so good. Like literally, the end of the film, for the half an hour we watched, the guy comes in. He's like, "There's no evidence of a Jericho missile. Where's my Jericho missile? You have to get my Jericho missile here by tomorrow." And then he walks out.
Yep.
And that's where we got to. The game starts with that guy walking out.
Yep.
And then like the two of them like looking at each other like, shit, we need to get the Iron Man suit ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, we need to finish this
and
in
then
24
you have the
hours.
little montage of him like hammering. And then I skipped this thing because I wanted to play the game. So, and then you're out. You've got the first very, very ropey suit and you're running around.
It starts off now. It starts off. I'm going to be honest. Fucking poorly. It is abysmal to start off with.
It does. I feel like it could have been, because it's basically the whole beginning is a tutorial.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're in you're in the crappy suit. You're in Afghanistan. Everything's sandy. Everything's brown. But you made a point of like very PS3, 360 generation games.
Quite typical of the era.
Brown.
Yep.
You know, everything's just that kind of colour for some weird reason. I don't know why.
It was weird, wasn't it? Like Greys and browns.
I'm so glad games come back to normal.
Fucking hell, I'm happy as
so
well.
So much nicer, isn't it?
I'm so much happier.
But yeah, so everything's just that kind of shades of brown, and you're running around. You've only got a flamethrower and punch. Then you unlock. So you unlock weapons as you go.
Yes.
So you then unlock missile, and then you have to, just beat things up, and then you're out. You're done.
Yeah.
So it's a very quick opening level. But it's not very fun in terms of like the next level is you flying around the city as Iron Man as you know him.
Yeah.
Like in his Mark 1 suit or Mark 2, depending if you call that the sand one a Mark 1 or not.
Yeah.
But you're then flying around, you're shooting your beams, like learning how to actually play as Iron Man. And that's more fun and representative of what the game's going to be, I guess.
It starts off with great promise because you're just told to kind of like, it's still kind of in the tutorial phases, so you're told to kind of hover and fly about a bit. But like from what is first presented to you, which is just like you're running down sandy alleyways, like burning...
Flamethrowing people.
Yeah, burning, kind of like fucking extremists to death. And I know that sounds fun, but put it in a 2008 PS3 game and it's not as fun as it should be. And then, you're given the freedom to just fly about and you've got like a cityscape. And although it is like, once again, quite typically PS3 where it's quite grey, it's not that just brown. Do you know what I mean? There's at least some life to this. It's given life.
But yeah, like you say, the city is very grey though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But it's that it is that time.
It's weird, yeah.
If it wasn't just like loads of brown and this, that and the other, there would be loads of grey in the palette.
Yeah,
you're
completely
it is
right.
So weird. I never understood. Even games that should have had loads of colour, like the fucking Halo games at the time, even they went all sorts of brown and grey, maybe with a little bit more green in there.
Yeah.
But that was it, really.
Yeah. But so this like the opening bit's not very fun.
Nah.
But when you're flying around, it is quite fun. Like when you actually turn into Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like it's a good laugh. And I was struggling at the boss. Just because I had no idea what I was actually meant to do. But I did work out eventually. But there were a few glitches with the game. I mean, the helicopter that I was fighting ended up like...
It started bouncing on the floor.
Yeah, so I crashed into the floor. And then I looked up and the helicopter was following me. And it hit like a raised level and it just bounced around in front of me. Not really sure why.
And then he lost the ability to fly. He just floated.
Yeah, then he was just floating. He was just standing still as I was attempting to work out what to do.
He was just sitting there, just its propellers like just like you're like hovering off to the side of it, And so it's face on in a totally other direction, and then suddenly all you hear is its guns go, and you're like, what's it shooting at?
Yeah, it was different.
Oh.
And then I realised in the opening level they said you could throw back missiles, but they never actually. I think I fucked that bit up because when we play, we can't always hear what the game is because then it would pick all up on the mics.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think I missed the part where it tells you how to do that. So then I suddenly worked it out.
Where Jarvis is just like, press
the circle button before the missile hits you in the face. Where I mean, I was just taking missiles to the face.
You're just flying into them, just boom, headbutting them out of the sky.
I mean, one nice thing, if you gave this to a kid, you can't die, because when you die, it just says system reinitializing and then you're back up again.
Yeah, that's it. Done.
It's quite nice for like, I mean, I guess anyone could play it then.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no deaths.
It's a pretty open game in that regard, isn't it? And like, yeah, certainly it's like child friendly to that degree. It's not really hyper violent, and you kind of your hand is held, which once again is quite typical of the whole PS3 era. There was a lot of hand holding, I felt, in that era of games.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of like permadeath or punishment.
No, and then Demon Souls came along.
Yeah.
Which is coming along again.
Yeah, mate, that's so exciting.
That's actually got me quite. I mean, I haven't really got into any of the Souls games.
Oh.
I gave Bloodborne a good go, but again, I don't. Everyone bangs on about Bloodborne.
People still say it's the best one.
But I just found it again. I found it very, like, I felt like I was playing a PS3 game when I was playing Bloodborne.
Really?
I don't know why. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's really choppy and I don't know. Maybe I need to give it another go.
Maybe, yeah. Well, finish Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy VII.
And then play a light game, and then maybe go back to Bloodborne. Because
yeah, maybe.
Like it's a bit like you could sink a lot of hours into Bloodborne.
Yeah, I kind of want to play Spider-Man again.
Nice.
Now I've got a HDR TV. I want to see what that game looks like in HDR.
That's a very good idea, Mr. Seth.
I think it'll look lovely.
It will look lovely. Yes.
Anyway, yeah, Iron Man. I don't have much to say about it, to be honest, other than like it tries. Its controls are a bit odd. The camera's sometimes too close to your face, or like too close to the back of your head.
Yeah.
I found flying around a bit weird.
Yes.
Like the controls weren't quite there, but maybe if I spent a couple of hours, I'd get it. You know, it's one of those that will like get better with time as I play it. Like Spider-Man for the PS4, straight off the bat, I wasn't that great, but I was still good enough to get around. Whereas this one, I felt like.
Yeah, you're swimming through fucking custard on this one, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's one of those things, like, although giving it the benefit of the doubt and giving it time might make you better and therefore you might have a bit more enjoyment with it, you're then posed with the question, is it a game worth spending an extra 2 hours on? In which case, I don't know. Do you know? Like, the thing is, I want to say yes, because, like, for viewers and listeners, we've got an opening bid episode coming out after this, or it may already be out, depending on when you're listening to this or watching this. Check it out, because the reasons why we had such a fucking blast with Iron Man for the PS3 isn't because it's a good game. In fact, it's probably the opposite. It's once again, it's like The Crow. It is like Shrek Extra Large. Maybe not to the same levels of absolute ridiculousness. But it is that sort of thing where it's like, this isn't a good game, but fucking hell, we are having so much fun with it. It's a shit show. And it's such a funny shit show. Yeah,
like we did have a fucking good laugh.
It's hysterical, man.
Which we normally do, to be fair. When we play these kind of games.
Very true. But it was just hysterical. Like, so I mean, there isn't a lot to say about it. It is a kind of by the numbers game, PS3
But
era.
the thing is, like, looking at the laugh, it was just because. Was it because of the game, or was it because like I just didn't really understand what I was doing, so I was getting rockets to the face every 10 seconds?
It's a bit of both, isn't it? Like, it's got to be a bit, because I mean, you can't blame the fact that the fucking helicopter had an identity crisis and thought it was a rubber ball, and then started to just jank out in midair.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
like that's nothing to do with you at all. That's just the game bugging out.
Yeah.
And then the level design fucking cracked me up. Just the way the city was planned fucking cracked me up. Like there were just so many things about it that probably individually aren't a big deal or aren't funny. Put them together, and my God, it's a beautiful thing. It's so silly, and I love it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. But this isn't a reflection on the game. The game is meh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
That's kind of it, to be
completely
honest.
agree with you.
That's all you can say, really.
Well, should we round it up then?
Yeah, go on then. Why not? Let's do
Right, so would you carry on playing this?
it. On the basis that it's under these conditions, on the basis that it's us playing it, and we've already experienced that laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Under any other
So
conditions,
from now?
yeah, under any other kind of conditions or circumstance, probably not. How about you?
I can agree with what you're saying. It's the same thing of like, yeah, if we had nothing else to do, I'd give it a go. We'd have another laugh. But there's no way I'd play it to completion.
No.
Not at all. I might give it another couple of levels.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
experience more buggy laughs, and then that'd be it. So I'd probably just say no.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Totally, man.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Cool ball then.
This is going to be a difficult one.
I'm feeling quite middling to lower.
Yeah,
personally.
that's kind of where my head's telling me to go.
So shall I do top 5, bottom 5?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Top 5. Number 5 is Doom for everything. Number 4 is Toy Story 2 for the PS1. Number 3 is Alien Resurrection for the PS1. Number 2 is GoldenEye for the N64. And number 1 is Final Fantasy 7 for the PS1.
Beautiful.
Right, it's bottom 5 is 37 is currently Shrek Extra Large for the GameCube. 36 is The Predator,
Our
newly
most
there for
recent
the
one.
NES. Number 35 is Powerpuff Girls Chemical Extraction for the PS1. 34, Wayne's World for the SNES. And 33, The Mask again for the Super Nintendo.
Right, well, I don't think the bottom 5 is at threat.
No.
I'll say that much.
No,
Like,
it's definitely better than the bottom 5.
Yeah.
My personal thinking of it.
Go on.
Right. Number 16, we have The Incredibles.
Yes.
I think I'd rather play The Incredibles than this.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that, actually. Yeah.
Then underneath The Incredibles, we have Moonwalker.
By the way, to those listening on a cast or similar podcast services, jump over to YouTube if you want to see the Cool Wall.
Yeah, it's a good idea to have a little look at it. You've got Moonwalker, then Action Man, Cool Spot, Toy Story 1.
Ooh.
So it's hard.
I don't know.
I feel like that's. But then you got Finding Nemo.
Yeah, which actually was a bit of a surprise. It was middling.
Right.
But
Yeah. I think I know where I'm going to put it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Tom's
Right.
just going to have a quick look at the Cool Wall, and then work out where he's feeling that it should go.
Oh, I don't know.
It is a tough one, because the game's just so bleh.
I think I've decided actually as well.
Right. What are you feeling?
I want to put it under Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, but above Friday the 13th.
Oh, I think that's just slightly below it. I think I want it to go above Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, is it?
So you want it to be the new 24,
Yeah, yeah.
and I want it to be the new 22.
Put it 23.
All right, 23.
Split the difference.
Yeah, I like it. 23. Put it there.
Nice. Holy shit! Well, there you go. So there's Iron Man. Literally, that's well, it's lower middling, which is exactly what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, there you go. So Iron Man, lower middling, but if you manage to pick out all of the bugs, faults, and flaws of it, you're gonna have a great time, and it could be a top 5. Simple as that. Simple as that. But then our namesake, Steph, is it a cash grab? Fuck.
Well, like I feel like yes, but I want to try and think of some points as to like because it doesn't feel like a straight up cash grab, but
No.
it is one.
Yeah.
But like, because they have tried, they have at least
To a degree,
they've tried to implement like a flying system. They've got the hover there. Like the flying system does work. It just needs me to get used to it. But like, it doesn't feel like there's enough going on.
Nah.
The game does have unlockable movies, but they're not for the game. They're not from the film. They're from the game, which I find a bit strange because I don't know why I'd want to go back and watch cutscenes from the game.
It's odd, isn't it?
That's a bit of an odd one. So you know, it just it's a hard one to say, isn't it?
I want to say it's a cash grab because there are many obvious reasons why why it is a cash grab. Someone could then argue back that there are many reasons which aren't so obvious which could call it that it's not a cash grab. I think it's one of those things that it is far easier to call it a cash grab, but really I'm kind of that way inclined.
Yeah, so you want to call it a cash grab?
I believe so. I don't think it's. I think where it. Oh, it is hard to say, isn't it? Like, I think it is, but I feel like the reasons are too obvious and it doesn't make a convincing argument. But it's just that, like, the release date of it being released alongside the film makes it feel like it's more of a marketing tool. But at the same time, then if it was released after the film and the film was super successful, it would feel even more of a marketing tool. I don't know. Look, I've just got to go with my heart, and my heart says cash grab.
It always makes sense, or at least the film that's tying into the game that's tying into the film at the same time. Like,
yeah.
Always, like, it would be stupid not to. I mean, GoldenEye have done it, and it worked out for GoldenEye's favour. But then that rode the wave of another James Bond game.
Yes.
But this one, like, I'm trying to think, it does switch it up a bit. Like, it's got the same kind of. It does chuck you straight into the action. It might not chuck you into the best point, but it does chuck you straight in. There's no like bullshitting.
Yep, true.
It's straight into being Iron Man, which is what's on the cover. You know, within half an hour you are already in a better Iron Man suit, and then I can only assume you're going to get into another better Iron Man suit for the next level. So it does, like, it's got a decent pace to it. It is getting you through the game quickly.
The way
it took me longer because I think it was just me being a dick.
The way I see it is that, like, you bought a Spider-Man for the PS4. That's not a cash grab. And the reasons being that, like, those attentions to detail, the character building, the world, the scenario, all of those things come together to make a loved product. Where I know it's a different generation, but it's only one generation different. So,
yeah,
you know, you can't give it too much leeway, although it seems like night and day in terms of, you know, which one's more technologically advanced, better game, all of that. But it is just kind of like, there's this level, complete it, get the next level, complete it. It's game development by the numbers, really, isn't it? Any half decent game developer could crack that out in his fucking sleep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. And then, like, there's not even like things to come back to on the level. You know, there's time trial, which
great,
cool. And then there's like little missions. So like in the first level, I had destroy all the Stark weapons.
Yeah.
In the second level, I had save all the civilians. I completed the first level and I fucked the second one. So
yeah,
like, would I go back to save the civilians?
Nah.
No, I wouldn't.
Nah. Their deaths don't hold heavy on your conscience, do they, Steph?
Nah. I can sleep soundly tonight. So it goes back to kind of what game? It goes all right. So I've made a point about The Incredibles, about how it could have been an open world.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like, this could have been a bit more of an open world, and I don't know if it goes into an open world, but it doesn't feel like it does. It feels like for the half an hour we played, it feels like it's going to just be level-based systems, and that's it. With an open-ish world.
Yes.
But, you know, like you said, the cityscape, you wouldn't be able to tell if you're in the north of the city, south of the city, west of the city, east of the city. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
All looks the same. It's all very, very poor, basically.
Yeah, bland, isn't it?
It is very bland. So, because of that, like I don't feel like they put as much effort in. You know, you got games like fucking GTA 4 on the PS3, and you got you got
Yep. Very true.
What other massive games you got on the PS4?
Red Dead Redemption.
PS3, sorry. Red Dead Redemption.
Fallout 3.
Which is
Fallout.
maybe Rockstar games. Yeah, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas.
New Vegas, yeah.
You know.
Skyrim.
Oh yeah, fuck, Skyrim was on the PS3. So, you know, you've got these massive open worlds that you could have brought in. So you could have put more detail into that small area.
Absolutely.
But it was just a playground to shoot helicopters.
Basically, yeah.
So...
Cash grab.
Because of that, yeah, it's cash grab.
It's a bleeding cash grab. And there you have it. So that's Iron Man done, Steph.
Yes. Right, well, if you're listening and you fancy arguing with us, you can go for it. Add some comments. But we'd actually prefer some suggestions to what you want to see.
Yeah, go on. Be a dear.
Yeah, that would be good.
Throw some our way, put a comment down there, and keep your eyes peeled for the opening bid episode of this Iron Man, because literally it's just fucking 30 minutes of me and Steph laughing our tits off about a helicopter.
Yeah, basically.
That's about it, to be honest.
That is the sum of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do give this video a like, and please do subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world. And please, 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 that's 3 pleases, do check out our Patreon at Cash Grab Podcast, and it would mean even more than the world if you can consider becoming a patron. But from me and from Steph, we will catch you next time. See you later.
See you later.